Welcome to another episode of Brain Digestion. We got a couple new faces here. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'll go ahead and start. Those of you who've been listening to Brain Digestion, you should know my face and voice by now. But I'm Alan D. Lyons, indie published author. Got my books Hostage 100 and Full Steam Ahead and Sasquatch and the Scorpion. Co-founder of Chewing on Brains and editor-in-chief, if you will, of our publications and whatnot.
Okay. My name is Kristi Spellman. I don't have a resume like you do, Alan, unfortunately. I'm just aspiring to publish.
Hey, that still works. We're all aspiring at one time.
We're all aspiring to something, right?
Yeah.
You gotta aspire to get somewhere, right?
Yep.
Right. Gotta have goals.
Exactly.
Timmy, you
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, introduce yourself.
I don't know. I'm a crazy person
Yep.
who at one point could write, but apparently not this month. Or for years couldn't write, but Alan kind of got me jump started on that a little bit, and then Chewing on Brains thing, and then
Then I couldn't get you to shut up.
yeah, and now all of a sudden I'm completely in like brain fog. Can't writer's block thing. I can't even talk right now.
Yeah, what's up with that? You usually talk our ears off. Well, like I said, I told Kyle the other day on his, and I commented on one of his posts, said, I'll fix that today here in this meeting. Your brain fog or writer's block.
I could rap the other day, apparently.
Yeah, we were going for a little bit there in the chat group. I would expect that out of Bryan, but not you.
I'm Kyle, 30. Just moved out to Indiana for some stupid reason from Arizona. I am mainly a musician, artist. I'm also an aspiring writer. I go by Landon Zerdek with my music. I'm currently working on an EP that should be out soon. I got one more song to write, but like I said, I hit that massive writer's block the other day. And so I'm still trying to figure out what the last song is going to sound like on this EP. But I'm excited for it to come out and excited for people to hear it. So yeah, that's a little bit about
Congrats.
me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you posted up a few of those songs on your EP. Sounding pretty good so far.
Well, I've shown you privately.
Well, that's where I heard it.
I've only ever posted publicly. I've only posted the intro to the EP.
Yeah, you
but
put
obviously
something on the Bomb Tracks group.
Oh yeah, I did actually. That was like the first single. That was my first full song that I did. And so I've got, I'm gonna have 3 other ones that haven't been released at all. So I'm just working on getting it finished up and mastered, and hopefully I'm hoping by middle to end of April I'll be able to release it. So I'm excited.
Right on. Okay, well, let's dive into this. I told y'all this would be a surprise. I wanted to. The other episodes kind of gave you guys a heads up on what we were doing and kind of gave you a little bit of time to think about what you're going to talk about. But this time, I wanted this to just all be at the top of your heads. Now, obviously, I've had time to think about what I'm going to say. So, yeah, how fair that is.
Not fair.
So, last episode, I wanted to start doing this new thing called Spinball, in which we talked about our R-rated Disney movie reimaginings. And the point of the Spinball was wanting to one person would bring up the story, and then the other people would spitball off of that, or spinball, you know. That went all right, but kind of not 100% what I had in mind. So we're gonna try it this way now. So yeah, we've in the Chewing on Brains group, we've started this Bob's Choose Your Own Adventure story. And well, first I wanted to talk about that, but I thought, no, we're actually going to do something like that, but live. I mean, obviously, we're not doing a Facebook Live, but we're doing it live reactions, you know.
Right.
And so, yeah, Bob's Choose Your Own Adventure, I think, is going pretty good. I mean, Timmy got a little bit weird, but I mean, that's Timmy for you. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off a story. I'm going to tell a little bit of story, and then I'm going to stop, and then somebody else is going to pick up from that story. All right, sound good?
Sounds cool.
Okay.
Are we just doing this like explaining, or are you trying to get like flowery in your words?
Yeah, you don't have to get flowery. I mean, it's not like you're actually writing the story down. Kind of just explain where the story is going. I mean, you could put a little dialogue in there if you want, but yeah.
This is Loki. Hi.
Oh, we got another guest popping on. Who's this?
God of Mischief. This is Loki.
Loki. He looks like he's a mischievous little fucker.
He's also a mama's boy, true to the MCU.
Ah, yeah, that Loki is a little bit of a mama's boy. Okay, so Jack. Our character's name is Jack, and he's a 14-year-old kid, and he's just an outcast, doesn't fit in anywhere, and very angsty, very moody, broods a lot, you know. And you know, he doesn't have very many friends, and he doesn't get along with his parents at all. So he gets in a fight with his parents, and he storms out of the house, slams the door, and just starts, you know, walking along, say, oh, you know, fuck them and fuck this and everything, and I don't need this and all that. He puts on his headphones, and he starts listening to some like Linkin Park and Papa Roach and all that. Keep in mind, this is taking place in the mid to late 2000s.
So I think you're telling the story of my life right now, Alan.
Yeah, I kind of tapped into your brain there. But you know, he's got himself a Zune, not even an iPod. He's got himself a Zune.
Yeah.
And so he's just listening to that, you know, and he's trying to calm himself down, but he's still a little angry and everything. And he's walking along, and he gets to this junkyard, and he's visited this junkyard many times. This is his kind of space to get away from it all, you know. So he sees a car that he's gonna go ahead and go and sit in his car and just listen to music and stuff. And he gets down, he sits in his car, and well, he pulls out a pipe. You know, he's already got the pipe loaded and stuff, and you know, he's kind of looking around, you know, making sure nobody sees him and stuff. Kind of takes a couple hits, you know, and he's feeling pretty good, you know. And then all of a sudden, the car starts moving. And he's like, well, what the hell? I know I noticed that there was I looked and there was no wheels on here at all. So I don't know what's going on. He's like, oh, it's Tyler and his buddies. They always fuck with me. And he's looking around. He doesn't see anybody. All of a sudden, the car starts raising up, starts getting higher and higher and higher. And he's like, no, I know this stuff is not laced. I know, you know, I'm feeling pretty good, but it's not laced. I know whatever's going on. I don't know. And it gets higher and higher, and sooner than later, he's out in space. And the car is just zooming along, and stars are going past him. And that's where I'm stopping. Who's next?
So it wasn't his grandpa's pipe tobacco.
No.
It's not. You didn't specify what sort of pipe.
I did
not a corncob pipe with some tobacco pouches and an old school.
It could be
cherry flavored
right now.
Beech nut.
So he gets up to space, right?
Okay.
And when he gets up there, he's wondering, like, how the hell did this happen? Like, am I really that high that I'm seeing myself in space right now, or is this actually happening to me? Does the kid have a name, by the way? You didn't say if he had a name.
It's Jack.
Jack.
Jack, that's right. You did say that. Okay. So Jack is thinking to himself, he's like, what the hell is happening right now? All I did was I got in this car and, you know, I like hit this pipe. I know there wasn't anything special in it, you know? So is this really happening, or am I just imagining this? Am I dreaming? And so he keeps floating further and further until he hits the wormhole. And the wormhole takes him through time and space, right? To where he ends up in a completely another dimension.
Wait, hold the thought, Kyle. Hold the thought. We got somebody else joining.
Who is it?
It is Bryan.
Bryan Biggs.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Oh, no,
How
there he
are we
is.
all doing?
Bryan.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Look at you all padded up and everything.
It's so really weird. I had my foot opened up. Hi, Kristi. I've never met you.
Hi, Bryan.
Now when I say ladies and gentlemen, ladies, or it'll be, I guess, lady and gentlemen. Anyway, so I have this ice pack on my neck for no reason. It just helps keep me cool.
Well, you're cool enough, Bryan.
Now, when you say ladies and gentlemen, you'll be at least half right instead of completely wrong.
Timmy, without seeing you, you sound like Seth Rogen, bro. And I mean, I've seen you obviously, but like you sound like Seth Rogen.
Huh.
He does. Well, there was So there was this story that I put up in Chewing on Brains one time. And I played off like I myself, Alan, was the editor of this old newsroom, and like Bryan and Timmy and Jordick were all the writers. And I said in my inner monologue how Timmy really sounded like Seth Rogen, and especially when he laughed. And I said I did not like Seth Rogen. Okay. Did you, Kyle? What's Jack do? He's in this wormhole.
So yeah, Jack discovers himself in a wormhole. He doesn't realize it's a wormhole, but he's up in space and he's just traveling through it. And so he's just seeing colors and lights and all of this flashing past him, right? But he's still in this car, and he doesn't really understand what the hell is going on. You know, he's 14. He's angsty. He's just pissed at his parents. All he wanted to do is just have some time to himself, hit a little bit of Mary Jane, and relax. And now he's up in space, lights flying past his head, all this, and then he sees a light at the end of the tunnel, and he wonders to himself, "Oh my God, am I dying? Is that what's happening? Am I dying right now?" He ends up shooting through the tunnel, right? Shooting through the burst of light, and comes out on another side, and he's approaching a whole different planet. Looks nothing like Earth, but it's a little Earth-like, just more cloudy, foggy, with more of a pinkish tint to it, right? And when he's approaching this planet, he notices that there's not what you would think are satellites around it, but actual spaceships around this planet. And he's thinking, what the hell? What is going on here? You know, where am I? What am I doing? What's happened? And so he's trying to like slap himself, like, wake up. This isn't real. Like, I must have fallen asleep. You know, this is a dream. So he gets to that point, and then next person.
Wow. What a setup. Instantly, though, I'm imagining that he has now entered a battle. You know what I mean? Like there is a war happening and he has just stumbled into it. I don't know where to take that from there, though.
I was kind of considering the wormhole idea, sort of like how Land of the Lost works or something. It's a little sort of a place out of time, people are getting drawn there from lots of different places. So there can be tons of different races, different people from different times, different universes and everything.
Right. Well, I figure all the
whether it's spaceships
going around, all sorts of different races in the spaceships.
Yeah, and maybe not even all spaceships. I mean, he just hopped into a car and got there. You know,
Right.
I mean, it can be.
All right, so I can
drama.
go one little step further. So as he enters into this new time space continuum that he's gotten to, and into this new area that he's at, suddenly a female pops into his passenger seat, right around the same age as Tim, but all she says is, "You
Same
need to
age
go
as
back."
Tim or same age as Jack? Because Timmy is like pushing 40.
same age as Jack.
Okay.
So she's around the same age as Jack, but she's like holographic, right? She's like holographic, and she just magically appears in his passenger seat. And she looks at him with a dead serious face and says, "You must go back. It isn't safe here. You must go back." He
That
says,
reminds me of Dobby the house elf.
And he just
Reminds you of
says,
Harry
he says, "What are you talking about? It's not safe. I don't even know where I'm at. What's happening?" And she says, "You must go back. It's not safe." And then she just disappears.
Okay.
See, now I'm still getting war vibes. I'm also getting like the chosen one trope, something along the lines of like Jupiter ascending.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good movie. That was very underrated.
Agreed.
Like I said, I was thinking the way it's sucking people in, or there's lots of stuff going on. Definitely kind of a war. I know there's like the land that time forgot. I think might be maybe not the land of the lost, but like the land that time forgot type stuff. Where, I mean, they'll even do like the war that time forgot, where different warriors and stuff from different planets, different places. I mean, it can all just sort of be there, and I mean, you could, you know, have up in space, the ground level, all sorts of stuff going on with the whole, just that world that something's drawing them all there, and for whether it's their entertainment or something more
like Sakaar.
Yeah, something like Sakaar. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're all kind of lost. Maybe I'll pick up a little bit here. So yeah, we got the hologram next to him. He's emerged in some kind of war. The car shakes, you know, and he's like, "Well, what the hell?" And all of a sudden, around the windows around him, all he sees is orange. He's like, "Oh shit, I just got hit." And then he could feel the car just starts plummeting. It is plummeting at alarming speeds, and then he could see the atmosphere around him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely crashing. I'm definitely gonna die." And the car keeps going through, and then he hits a bunch of trees, and then boom, and everything just stops. It hurts. His ass hurts pretty hard, and the hologram next to him it shorts out. Like she's trying to
Is
say
that
something.
specifically what hurts?
Huh? Kind of like what Bryan just
Nothing. Never mind.
did. Well, why don't you go ahead and continue that one, Bryan?
Is that a Bryanism?
I didn't even,
Probably. I did tell the nurse yesterday we'd have cute kids even though we didn't go to the same Hogwarts house.
I'm pretty proud of that one too.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. We're creating a story together.
Yeah,
Yes.
you kind of popped there in the middle. Yeah, we're doing a round.
Okay, perfect. So
Like the telephone
homeboy
game.
lands on this planet. His butt is sore. So he's sitting there. He's trying to, I'm envisioning through all this, he lands and it's not necessarily black, but it's dark, and that he caused an uproar from the landing. It was a horrific landing. So there's smoke and dirt and everything everywhere. So it's very dark. And I'm envisioning him trying to like catch himself up. Like, what just happened? Where am I? Okay, so what's the next step? And as all this is going on and he's frantically trying to catch himself up, he starts hearing like some really weird, obnoxious, high-pitched like dinosaur sound effect, like a yeah.
That was great.
Hold on, let me like a yeah. I'm trying to make it more high pitched, but I'm envisioning like a triple like
Like a screech.
Yeah, like a talk screech, if you will.
Oh,
Since we're writing this, how would you spell that, Bryan?
REEE hyphen REEE hyphen
And then he looks-
REEIA.
and the dinosaur has
Ria.
the dinosaur has this curly fro, and he sounds like Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Rest in peace.
Oh, R.I.P.
So after he lands, right after he has this crash landing, the hologram girl that he saw in his passenger seat before now actually appears, but in real life. And she goes, "What are you doing here? I just told you it's not safe." And he says, "Well, I had no control. I got hit, and I got hit, and now I'm here. Where am I?" And she explains that he's on planet SC-17, and that they're at war with another planet currently, and that it's not safe for him to be here. But because he is there, he's basically been the chosen one. And so she's now a live person that he has to follow direction from and figure out what the hell he's supposed to be doing there. So they're in the woods, and she takes him into their main city to meet the leader of what's actually going on.
I might have to actually work. So
Okay, so you're gonna leave
a
us.
little while.
Well, I started thinking differently about it, and
Okay.
I had a different approach on how we're gonna go about it. All right, so here's what I was thinking. So it goes along the same base, right? Like, so he has his crash landing, like you said, Alan. And so when he has the crash landing, it still goes along the same lines that he meets the girl, actually in person, and she comes there and she says, "You're not safe. People can't know you're here. You're not safe. You're the chosen one. Follow me." And so when Jack follows her, he's asking all these questions. He's like, "Where am I? What's going on?" She tells me, "This is planet SC-17." And then after that, he's like, do you guys go by years, or what's going on here? Like, and she's like, "Yeah, the year is 2256. And he's like, "I just came from the year 2000 on Earth." And so she explains to him that basically 100 years prior, Earth was demolished, and the Earthlings were taken to their planet as slaves, right? But that it was always said that one day there would be a chosen one that would come there to rescue the slaves and to, annihilate the what's it called?
Patriarch, yeah.
Yeah, that one day an Earthling would actually come to annihilate the patriarch that they have set up to free the Earthlings that they have as slaves. And they've always heard stories about it, but they never believed it was true, like such as like the Bible or something like that, right? So she explains to him that he's the chosen one, that she has to keep him safe because he's there to basically help to free the Earthlings that they have as slaves, that the Earthlings that are left on their SC-17 planet. And
What do you call it? Like a messiah, kind of.
yeah, and so he's just taken back by it. He's completely taken back, and he's like, "How can I be the one? I'm only 14 years old. I don't understand how I'm the one. All I was trying to do was just get high in the car, and now I'm here. What does this mean? Like, can I ever go back to my planet, or what's happening?" And so she basically explains, "Yes, you can go back to your planet, but you have an opportunity to change the future of your planet right now. Here and now, you have the opportunity to change the future of your planet so that this doesn't happen." And so she then takes him to a safeguard area and introduces him to the head honcho of their group, which is kind of like Samuel L. Jackson in Avengers. Like, he's like a head dude that kind of controls like the humans and everything, and is on the human side. So that's kind of where I would like to go with that, is he's kind of like this messiah that, he's wondering, like, how the hell am I the messiah? I'm only 14. I'm coming from the year 2000. Like,
is he going to develop any? Because I'm envisioning, 14-year-old boy, is he going to develop a power? Because he went through this wormhole, does his intelligence increase? Like, what's a 14-year-old in a seemingly some sort of galactic war
And I'm so
where his Earth
so glad
ends. How does he?
I'm so glad you asked that because you're jumping ahead. Because I was
Perfect.
just
I
about
love
to say
to jump.
When he's asking her how exactly can I help, she goes, "You have powers unbeknownst to what we know, and you don't know it either." And he goes, "What do you mean I have powers?" And so
Have you given him powers yet?
Have I given him them? No, not in my mind yet. This is all formulated.
So I have a God complex power. I could throw out there for you, see what you think. So the ability to control molecules and atoms.
Okay.
Like let's just let that sink in. Like if you could master
to create spontaneous
power,
life,
you could create, you could fly, you could control the air around you. Like someone could make you mad, and if you're passive aggressive, you could be like, all right, boom, guess what? Your blood's now vaporized air. Nobody even knows where you are. Sorry.
oh, so you're Wanda.
Yeah, basically, like you're Scarlet Witch, but on like a molecular atom
Did
level.
Jack already have these powers, or did he get them, contract them when he went through the wormhole?
He already had them, but he didn't know how to tap into them.
Is it like a Superman thing where he needs a special sun? He's on a different planet now, so it all works.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. He already had them within him before, even as just a typical human being. He already had these powers available to him, but he didn't realize that he did. So when he goes into this future of 2256 and he meets this girl, she explains to him that we've been told of your powers. And he goes, "What powers? I don't have any powers. I'm just a typical kid. I like listening to rock music and getting high. That's all I do." She goes, "Yes, you don't understand it, but we do. And I'm here to teach you how to embrace those powers within your inner self." And so then she goes forward to teach him exactly what type of powers he has mentally and physically. And then whoever wants to pick up from there, you can.
Maybe it can be like the power is emotionally spawned. So like, sorry to use Harry Potter as a reference, but the Patronus charm, for example, in the Harry Potter universe, is a charm that is produced, and the happier the memory attached to the spell, the stronger the spell itself. So maybe these powers can be tapped into pending a different emotion. And, you know, with a girl being involved, I think love would be the easiest one to play with.
Well, I think that's the ultimate thing too, is that like he ends up actually falling in love with this girl at the very end. But I mean, that's obviously down the road. But
like I said, far away.
Yeah, like, but whoever wants to pick it up, I like where you're going with it though, Ryan, for sure.
What if he had, the reason he was so angsty was because he had like a tumultuous childhood. Maybe he didn't experience love the way some people do, and he doesn't get the power until he senses that these people are looking to him for help, and he experiences respect for himself that he had never had before.
Like a journey of self-love.
So like an emotional thing, like Bryan was saying. So like,
yeah, I really like that.
Almost like an emotional thing, kind of like Bryan was saying, like he realizes like these certain emotions and everything, and those powers are finally able to kick into him.
So we're kind of,
I'm sure like growing up, he was probably told he was dumb, or he wasn't popular or strong.
Yeah,
and
he's
so
a 14-year-old trying to get
now in this
stoned
world
in his
where
car,
they're like
something's going on.
Right. And so now he's in this place where they're like, you can do this. You're the only one who can. And that's something he's never heard before.
We don't have any real description of Jack at all. All we know is that he's 14, he's angsty, and he likes rock music. Right? We don't have
I'm envisioning someone your hairstyle, like black hair, kind of like down to here, like 14-year-old getting high in his car. Not that you look like a 14-year-old getting high in your car. Wow, that did not come out the way I meant it.
He does look like a 14-year-old. Getting high.
But it's funny because when Alan first initiated this story, I said, Alan, you're just like basing it off my life right now.
Oh, you listen to a little bit of Eminem too, so there's a little bit of Bryan.
I mean, I did that too, and Bryan. So
He's like emo gangster.
Yeah.
That is the best way to describe Eminem music is emo gangster.
Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'll pick up from this. Okay, we're kind of world building, but let's do some more story building here. Okay, so the leader, the Nick Fury kind of character, he tells, and between him and the girl, okay, is she a hologram still at this point, or is she?
No, she's real now.
She's real at this point.
Okay, so between the two of them,
The hologram was just a warning.
Okay, so they're kind of loading this on him, and he's kind of feeling a little world weary. But he doesn't have time to really think about it a whole lot because a couple of the ships that he saw up there, they start swooping in and shooting missiles and stuff. So all the people scatter. And then they're like, Jack, do something. We know you can do something. And so he does one of these numbers, like the Winds of Vishnu, and somebody go from there.
So I say his first attempt is a failure. I think that would be from a story building standpoint. As a 14-year-old boy, you're suddenly thrown into this new world, new universe. By the way, now you have all these people to save. I think maybe he does a little bit of magic, but it's not enough or whatever. But I think maybe not a complete failure, but maybe a nice little hiccup.
Topples a wall or something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so I can do something, but it wasn't enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
So that happens. And then what?
So I see him trying to help, not being able to do much. He maybe knocks over a wall. So everyone scatters and they go underground to these like tunnels that they've created because there's not actually a war happening. These people outside of the planet are just like gatekeepers, like they shoot them every now and then to keep them in line.
Okay.
Like
Because they're
kind of
because there's an uprising happening and they know that, but they're just like, you guys are puny little humans living in your rat holes. You can't do anything about it. So everybody's now underground.
So then I feel like after that happens, right? And I think people start having doubt in Jack. The people start having a doubt whether Jack is actually the chosen one or not. Like, like they start feeling like, well, if he was, this would be over. Like we would win, right? And so the ministries that are of the planet SC-17 are like, yeah, this kid's not the chosen one. We need to take him out immediately or send him back where he came from. But Jack at the same time is determined to figure out, if he really does have this ability or not. And so he continues to work on it, kind of like every superhero when they're discovering their powers, right? Like just like Spider-Man in the original movie, like he's working on discovering like what it is he can do and everything. So I feel like Jack starts like trying to, go undercover and discover like what exactly can he do. And so unfortunately he has to take a little break from trying to actually rescue humanity. But at the same time, he's still got this girl that is by his side trying to help him and push him through it and give him the confidence to be who he actually can be. We need to come up with a name for the girl, by the way. I don't want to
Helga.
What?
Helga, really? Helga?
Scarlet.
1930?
Her name's Scarlet.
Johansson.
I was thinking witch, but yeah.
I don't know.
So
I don't
I
know.
really like Kristi.
It needs to be like a futuristic name.
No.
She's living in the year
That name's
2256.
awful.
No, not for the character. I was gonna character name we'll get
Come up
to,
with a
but
name?
what I like what Kristi was saying, how Jack could have this like uprising that I think his uprising and his stories and him being bullied and told he's not good enough. I think that, you could turn this into a simultaneously sci-fi fantasy thriller, but also make the audience feel really good. right?
Right.
So it's one of those things, like, if the people that he's now there to save have started turning on him too, and he doesn't, and he's starting to think, well, maybe I'm not it. But this girl continuously reminds him that no, you are here for a reason. Just one person can make a difference in that kid's mind.
She's right by his side the whole time, reminding him like, no, you are the chosen one. You are human. You're here to rescue the other humans. You know, you're here to avenge what they've gone through. And so I feel like that would push Jack to be more determined, especially because at the same time that she's pushing him, he's also developing feelings for this girl. And so he starts to trust her. He starts to trust her more, right? And starts to trust her and all that. So they're going through the motions and they're working together, and she's trying to, you know, communicate to him that, you know, he really is the one that's supposed to be here to save everyone. At the same time, he's trying to grow confidence in himself that, you know, he can actually do it. And then at one day, it just finally clicks, and finally he hits it, right? He's able to just use his mind, and he's able to just knock. We're going back to the wall thing. He's able to just effortlessly blow down a wall with his brain, right? With his mind. And then he discovers that he has these powers with his hands as well, of like the Force, like Jedi Force, where he can stop things. Like he can just put his hands up and just stop things as well. And so he finally, at some point, discovers that he can do all this thanks to his new confidence that she's given him. And so he finally becomes ready to try to avenge his people, right? To try to avenge the humans. He becomes like, he thinks he's ready, but he again fails, right? He doesn't fail terribly. He doesn't fail terribly. Idea. Okay, go.
So he's now ready. He believes that he's now capable, but the people are still not sure. They're like, no, you already screwed up once. You're 14 years old. There's no way that you're going to be able to do this. So there's basically the powers that be have already decided they're going to do their own strategy. They're going to do their own attack. And these ships come down and are basically like 2 seconds away from mowing everybody down, right? So this kid's like, screw it. I know I can do this. So give me a minute. So he runs out into the middle of the field and just with his mind just crushes one of the ships. One of them completely just explodes and everything stops. And whatever other planet is now leading this insurgents, like pulls him onto his ship because he realizes that this kid could do something and he wants to like get him to switch teams before he actually saves people. So now this kid can either choose to save the people that told him he wasn't good enough, or he can join forces with the bad guy.
So quick question. Am I the only one that's picturing Tom Holland right now in this?
I was picturing you this whole time.
Yeah, I was like, I'm very much picturing Kyle Hernandez, to be honest.
Oh, I had Isa Butterfield.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
The kid from Ender's
So I
Game?
think we're all envisioning same type of like long-haired type 14-year-old.
I don't know. I was either picturing Tom Holland or the kid from what was that movie? Ender's Game.
Yeah, Isa Butterfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is okay.
Yeah, so I was either picturing one of the two, either Tom Holland or the guy you said, Isa Butterfield or whatever.
I'll isolate your Butterfield.
I was picturing like one of the two of them, like Tom Holland when he first became Spider-Man because he was like barely 18 at the time, or the kid from Ender's Game because that's kind of Ender's Game-ish.
Oh yeah, this whole thing has been giving me like Ender's Game Valerian vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
I suppose I should probably watch that movie.
Which one?
Ender's Game.
You haven't seen it?
No. I should probably
You
watch
need to.
Spider-Man: Homecoming too.
You haven't seen that either?
I've seen that movie.
Oh.
I was gonna say,
All right,
Alan.
I can hear
No
the people
problems.
that are saying let's just getting home, so I'm going to hang up. It was so nice to talk to you guys. Thanks for letting me join.
All
All right,
right.
Brian.
Thanks,
Get
Brian.
well, bud.
Bye.
I will. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so he's on the ship, the enemy ship, right? And he's kind of thinking about joining them, but he's got this. He wants, above anything else, he just wants to be with that girl, Scarlet. We're just gonna call her Scarlet, okay? So he wants to be with Scarlet out of anything. He doesn't necessarily care about saving this race or anything.
Well, yeah, he's 14, so his hormones are wild.
Right, yeah. So he's like, but he wants to make it sound good. So he's like, no, put me back down there. I must be with them and, just knock it off. And they're like, okay, so we're going to play this game. So they put him in their dungeon or whatever on the ship. But what would they call that? Their jail cell on the ship. I don't know what not necessarily the dungeon. That's like a castle.
That's called Star Wars.
That's called Star Wars. The whole jail cell is Star Wars.
No, it's just opposite because Princess Leia was in a jail cell on the ship and Luke had to go rescue her.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of opposite.
Well, I'm not saying the whole story is Star Wars. He's in
Any space story is going to parallel Star Wars.
He's in confinement, okay? So he's sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to do? And then Scarlett's hologram pops up again. And she's like, what are you doing? And okay, I'm leaving it there. Who wants to pick it up?
Right? What are you doing? He's captured.
I had nothing. That's what I
Weird question. Oh, just hanging out in a dungeon on a spaceship.
Right?
Normal Tuesday.
Okay, let me go a little bit further. No, I got nothing.
So he's like, she comes in, she's like, she doesn't necessarily ask, what are you doing? But she asks, what's his plan, right? So she asks, what's his plan? And he gives her his plan of attack, basically. And he says, the next time that he's to be fed, through the little slot that they give him food and whatever, he's realized his power is so deep at this point that he can also do mind control. But he has to have a physical touch, right, to do the mind control. So when the person reaches in to give him his food, he's going to grab the guy's hand and take control of the guy's mind and release himself from the cell. From that point, he's going to work on escaping out of the ship where he's at to get back down to planet SC-17 to liberate all of the humans that are down there. And so he gives her that plan, and she basically tells him it sounds like a good idea, but it's not foolproof. And she says that she'll have backup for him if he needs it. Go from there.
Well, he's going to have to find some way to weaponize the people on SC-17. Is that what we're calling it? Because right now they're slaves, so they don't have anything. So he's going to have to use his mind control powers to get them resources from the ship that he's on. Because if he's on the mothership, basically, he has access to everything. So I see him commandeering a ship, a smaller cargo ship from this big mothership, and taking down resources once he escapes.
Well, he has
for the
access.
backup that's waiting for him.
He's on the mothership, so he has access to all of the other ships currently, right? So
Yeah.
because he is on the mothership, he has access to all the other ships. In which case, he is able to shut all of the other ships down.
Are they just going to shut down and just crash, or are they going to land?
Obviously, it's not that simple. you know, like War of the Worlds, where they hit the mothership and all the robots on Earth just die instantly. Like, it's obviously not that simple. So we're gonna add in a little twist, and you know, we think Jack's the chosen one. Next thing you know, another car shows up, just like his did, right?
Okay.
Another car shows up, and it's Jack's best friend. So Jack's
Is that the
best friend,
backup? Is
But
that the backup she was talking about?
yeah, but Jack's best friend has different powers.
wait,
More-
wait, wait. Stop right there. Okay, he doesn't have any friends. Let it be Tyler, the bully.
Because
Fair.
Tyler has his own
Okay.
traumas.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we get even deep. Then we get even deeper, right? Because then the same girl that Jack likes is now trying to walk Tyler through the situation on what's going on, and explains that Jack is stuck in this situation. Can you help him? Jack and Tyler says, no, that kid's a fucking nerd. I'm not helping him. And then she explains, you know, this, if you don't help him, this could be the end of your planet as we know it, as you know it. It'll be the end of life on Earth. And I don't know, I'm getting kind of lost here.
Okay.
I think I
So
went
I
too
kind of
far.
feel like this is setting up like choices and the importance of the choices that we make in our lives, because she kept saying that whatever he does could change his future on Earth. So if he has these abilities and he's always had them, what if the twist of the story is the big bad character that's enslaved everything is him in some form?
okay, like
So
a
And the
future-
choice that he's making is to not go down the path that he's on.
It's
I
him from
get-
2021.
I get what you're saying with that, but they're currently in the year 2256.
I
And
know,
he
but if he
wouldn't-
has these powers,
And
But
if
he's
he
there's no
living
reason
in-
to think that he
traveled through
couldn't.
time already.
Right. If he's been given these powers, these ability to affect the matter
future.
around him the way he has, there's no reason to believe that he couldn't have already time traveled.
Well, now we're
Just-
going into a prequel.
Okay, let's
I mean,
back
don't
up.
the
a
best
second.
stories all have prequels?
I want to back up to where they're going to try to weaponize the people, you know. Okay, so this is before Tyler shows up, all right? And this is before he finds out that his future self is the bad guy, okay? So,
I was just throwing it out there.
Wait, now we're talking Star Wars. We're talking more Star Wars, because just like Anakin, and he becomes the bad guy.
oh, well, yeah.
But
I
Anakin
mean,
doesn't fight himself.
you said
his
the
son
chosen
fights
one,
him.
and I thought Star Wars. Okay, all right, okay. So part of his powers, his God complex powers, is he can scramble atoms, including his own. So he can do like a form of teleporting. He can scramble his atoms and then teleport somewhere else and scramble there. So he's talking with Scarlet, and they say, well, we could go try to find the weapons and then teleport it down to the people. And Jack's like, but I don't know this ship. All I know is the bridge where they brought me upon, and then we walked through some corridors and took me to this jail cell. But Scarlett's like, okay, well, I can take my hologram and then I can go find kind of a map. And so she finds the area that has the weapons. It's kind of like in the galley of the ship. So she goes and finds it, and then she comes back and she goes, okay, tells him where it's at. So he materializes himself down there in the galley of the ship, and there's all these weapons, and he's like, okay, but my powers aren't strong enough to teleport all these down there. So,
Maybe we should make this a to be continued.
you know what? That
Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it to be continued.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're barely into Act 2. We got a lot.
Like, Yeah, like we still have to figure out like how exactly everything's gonna go down once this bully gets there and
Right.
things with Scarlet and Jack.
So okay, so currently Jack is down there in the galley with the weapons area, and he's going to try to figure out how to transfer those down to the people down below that are in the tunnels, I guess. And then eventually, probably at this same time, Tyler is en route to in his car to the planet. And then
Yes.
and then at simultaneously at the same time, the captain of the ship is Jack from 2021, who had somehow traveled to this year. So we got three perspectives, or three narratives going on here.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks y'all for joining.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
hosting.
Yeah. Well, I just want to touch on reminding the listeners, you can go ahead and like our Facebook page, Brain Digestion, and on there you can check out, there's a free PDF of our publication, Brains Digested, and we also have a YouTube channel, and also check out our brother podcast, Geekery Update, for all your updates in the geekery industry.
Perfect. And to the listeners as well, go ahead and check out some of my music, Landon Zerdek. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and SoundCloud.
All right. And then also coming soon is Kristi's spy novel.
That's not even the one I'm editing right now.
You'll have to tell me about that.
I will. I sent you the first page of it.
Oh yeah, you did. It was kind of a circus kind of mindfuck thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, see y'all later.
All right, y'all have a good
Bye.
night.
All right.
You too.